Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B Ward, this is the Post-Mortem Show. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today, we're going to give you our top 5 cemeteries, morgues, and mortuaries.
Places of the dead.
Of the fucking dead. Either you're in the ground or being prepared to be in the ground.
Or you're being fucked with by things coming out of the ground.
And that's true too. Or maybe you're coming out of the ground yourself.
Yeah,
in
true.
some cases. So, yeah, this is I'm really surprised we haven't done this yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of right there. So, I have quite some deep pulls, some honorable mentions, some you may think about, but I try to go like more out of the ordinary or films that people don't really think about or don't get enough press. So
I had a couple come up doing research for it that I'd never heard of before. Some Italian horror movies and some other foreign horror movies that now I have some homework.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And before we get to horror news, you've seen the trailer for Wolfenstein 2, right?
Yeah.
The new game?
Yeah.
Killing Nazis and
Yep.
stuff, you know? And Wolfenstein has always been about killing Nazis.
From day one.
From day one.
From the day that it was a fucking side-scrolling platformer.
Yep. And now people are upset about it, saying they're capitalizing on the left versus the right and political stuff. First of all, the hashtag that the Wolfenstein is no more Nazis.
Yeah.
If you're going to get upset about a hashtag no more Nazis, then like, what kind of argument do you have?
Yeah, you've lost right there in the beginning. And if you're going to get upset about Wolfenstein, that's like getting upset that fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre has fucking people from Texas wielding chainsaws. You know, it's in the fabric of what Wolfenstein is,
and it is. And also, it's like getting upset with Doom.
Yeah,
like you're one step removed from my precious Doom. You don't fuck with it.
Yeah. One of the things that I'd done some reading about that too. One of the things that I saw was this guy talking about, this guy's a fucking moron. He's talking about how Wolfenstein is not, it's a stupid concept for a game because there's no way that any kind of resistance could have beaten the Nazis at their peak.
What?
They lost!
Yeah, it's like, you know, future robot Nazis and zombies and stuff like that. It's a really fun game, and like I'm going to pick up number 2. I'm going to pre-order it. You know? And just I found it funny. I wanted to, before we got into horror news, just talk about it a little bit because people didn't have a problem with the subject matter of the game when it came out originally.
No.
20 years ago.
That's the easiest thing.
Over
you want to make a game
ago.
that's violent where people get killed, make them Nazis because it's okay to kill Nazis. We had a war about this.
These people, in 30 years ago, they didn't care about it. So what the fuck? Why do you care now?
They're just
anyways,
fucking morons.
Just shut the fuck up. You got a problem with it? Fuck you. I'm going to go on record as saying if you got a problem with Wolfenstein, fuck you.
Yeah. I was at Michelle's house yesterday, and she always kind of just has like the History Channel on in the background. If we're not watching TV, just to have background noise. And the History Channel talks a lot about Nazis, as they should, because people need to remember that Nazis happened and that they were fuckheads and that they lost. But this whole episode was about Nazis and crystal meth, and basically how like for 3/4 of the Reich, Hitler was just fucking out of his mind on crystal meth the whole time.
It doesn't surprise me. Yeah, so fuck you Nazis and fuck you crystal meth.
Yeah, fuck you Hitler on crystal meth.
Yeah, and then, you know, something else I want to talk about before we get into horror news. You know, we started a Facebook group. We've had a lot of people reach out to us, you know, as far as suggesting us top 5 lists, a bunch more listener engagement. We appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're still like just around 300 people in the group and thousands of downloads. So if you guys are a fan of the show and you didn't catch our announcement of the Facebook group or the commercial that aired last week's episode, come on to Facebook, Post-Mortem Show, Horror Movie Podcast. Join and you can be
one of us.
Yes. And just like listener Mark Bartlett, who purchased the most high dollar item so far through our Amazon, a 65-inch flat screen TV. We really appreciate that. You guys clicking through, supporting the show. Same price for you. You're not paying any more to give us money, but we get money.
Absolutely,
like the commercial says.
Yeah,
and we appreciate that.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah,
the only person who loses money is the massive corporation.
Yep. So that's it for Wolfenstein and Facebook group news.
Yeah.
But now we got to get down to the meat and potatoes of the episode. Some horror news.
The monkey and peewees of this this podcast.
Albert Fish's monkey and peewees. That's our rating system. It's time for some horror news. Horror news. You want to start us off this week with some horror news?
After the disaster that was The Mummy, Universal has chosen to put The Bride of Frankenstein, set to star Javier Bardem and Angelina Jolie, on hold in order to retool it and not make the same mistakes that stalled the Dark Universe's debut. Quote, after thoughtful consideration, Universal Pictures and director Bill Condon have decided to postpone Bride of Frankenstein, Universal said in a statement to Deadline. Continuing the quote, none of us want to move too quickly and meet a release date when we know this is a special movie that needs more time to come together. Bill is a director who has enormous talent and has been proven time and time again, and we all look forward to continuing to work with this film together. So it sounds like the Dark Universe is going to continue, but they realize that they really fucking screwed the pooch with The Mummy.
The fault lies on the doorsteps of L. Ron Hubbard. That's the reason. Scientology is the reason that movie sucked.
Fucked it up. Yeah. So hopefully they don't make... I think probably the big mistake was trying... They couldn't tell... They couldn't decide if they wanted to make it a horror movie, an action movie, or a campy comedy. And you just need to pick a tone and stick with it. And horror works.
It does. Yeah, throw in all these fucking elements. You're muddying up the waters, folks.
You know what the Universal Dark Universe needs is Mike Flanagan.
Mm-hmm.
He could do it PG-13 and make it good.
That would be fucking awesome. Or Lucifer Valentine.
Absolutely.
He can make it not PG-13.
Hank Skinny is Dracula. but he's called Blackula.
It's not Blackula. It's not Dracula. It's Blackula. That's actually, I'm amending said rating system. That's how many rating systems.
Blackulas.
Blackulas. So I have some news that I'm extremely pissed off about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So in a recent New York Post article, a writer gives commentary on why adults should leave Halloween to the kids. Adults shouldn't dress up, nor should they carve pumpkins. The writer remains nameless, probably because they don't want to be known as the person who works so hard to ruin everyone's fun. The author's byline is simply post-staff report, and she begins the article titled, Adults Shouldn't Celebrate Halloween Without Dressing Up. By referencing America's current turmoil, not mass shootings or hurricanes, but adults donning costumes for a once-a-year nationwide masquerade on October 31st. So, what they're basically saying...
This person's name is G. Wrench.
What the fuck?
The Grinch couldn't steal Christmas, so he just wants to come and fuck up Halloween for all of us.
Yeah. He amends his statement by saying, adults can celebrate, but with tasteful home decor or making a Halloween-themed dessert.
You know what?
This guy, fucking Martha Stewart.
You know what I have to say to this motherfucker? You're not my dad! You're not my fucking dad!
You can't tell me what to do.
You can't if I want to put on a mask and go and knock on someone's door and ask for candy, I'm gonna do it! I don't care if it's fucking February! This is America!
Yeah. He's on my porch. Fuck
yeah.
That. We're going all out this year.
Leave it that way all year round.
I should. Dangling limbs, severed feet and hands dangling from my porch.
Start collecting roadkill, hang it up out there.
Yeah, we're going all out for Halloween. Fuck you, New York Post. You don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, New York Post. Wait, New York Post.
Halloween is a fucking lifestyle. It's not a time of year.
Absolutely. New York Post is a pretty conservative newspaper, so I'm just going to put that firmly filed under S for suck my dick. And, that can go away.
Yes, indeed.
So a prison exploitation film starring Vince Vaughn will be hitting on demand on October 13th, this coming Friday. It's called Brawl in Cell Block 99, and it has had massive praise heaped on it in the film festival circuit, both for its acting and its unflinching brutality. A former boxer named Bradley loses his job as an auto mechanic, and his troubled marriage is about to expire. At this crossroads in his life, he feels that he has no better option than to work for an old buddy as a drug courier. This vocation improves the situation until the terrible day that he finds himself in a gunfight between a group of police officers and his own ruthless allies. When the smoke clears, Bradley is badly hurt and thrown in prison, where his enemies force him to commit acts of violence that turn the place into a savage battleground. So, Vince Vaughn, I think, proved himself with Season 2 of True Detective. He can be intimidating. He can be menacing.
The Cell, too. Vince Vaughn is a good actor.
The Cell, he was even good in Psycho. And Psycho wasn't that great.
No, it was not at all.
But I'm looking forward to this. There was a preview. It looks like it's going to be pretty fucking gritty. Vince Vaughn looks like he's had the shit beaten out of him, like, right out the gate. You know, he's kind of got that Stallone, like, lazy side of his face thing going on. I don't know how they did it. And
he's aging.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They did it. It's called stroke. Look it up. It's better than CGI. It's massive for the practical effects.
Put an air bubble in someone's brain and fucking makes. That's the most dedicated fucking method actor in the world. Christian Bale just fucking cries and jerks off at night because he didn't think of it.
He didn't think of having a stroke intentionally, like Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, I should have given myself a stroke.
And then, so there's Christian Bale. He's there crying. Vince Vaughn's looking at him until he turns around and sees good old JR Jim Ross.
And he's like,
out and injected himself with cerebral palsy, Bell's palsy in his face.
Just went out and
he injected his face not with the Botox, but with Bell's palsy.
Yeah, just straight in,
just straight into his face. To be the best commentator ever.
That's right.
So is that all you got to say about Vince Vaughn?
That's all I got to say about that.
Before I hijacked it with good old JR. So, Kate McCucci from The Big Bang Theory, Sam Huntington from Rosewood, Dan Harmon from Rick and Morty will star in Corpse Tub, a dark comedy from Company X and Mar Vista Entertainment. This marks the second co-production of a 4-picture deal currently in place between the two companies, following the Mariana Parka-directed pick Bitch, which premiered at Sundance this year. Follows a young Midwestern couple. When they take a chance to move into LA, they find an apartment with impossibly low rent. It's soon revealed that the former occupant was an enigmatic cult leader who ended his life in the clawfoot bathtub. Now, a steady stream of his eccentric cult members break into the apartment to kill themselves in the tub in honor of their leader. So these people got this cheap apartment, and all these crazy people keep trying to break into their apartment to commit suicide.
That's a unique concept.
In their bathtub. Unable to afford another move, they soon find themselves inexplicably drawn into the cult, all while navigating the inquiries of a beleaguered LAPD detective obsessed with selling a screenplay based on his own life. This sounds so good.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, Corpse Tub. So, what would you do if people were trying to break into your rental property to kill themselves? Well, that would suck.
It's a clawfoot bathtub. I just put the fucking clawfoot bathtub in the yard and get a new bathtub.
In the
it's way
neighbor's
cheaper than
backyard.
moving. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
NIMBY, motherfucker, not in my backyard.
What if you can't get out the window of the door because it was constructed in there? What you gonna do? Break the wall down?
Yeah, it's still cheaper than moving.
I guess so. You know what else is cheaper than moving? Just letting a bunch of people kill themselves in your bathroom.
It's true. Or you could like live stream it on Facebook or fucking Twitch and make some money off of it.
You could make them into soap.
True.
Just let them kill themselves, make them into soap.
Render them down.
You can open up a gasoline and barbecue stand like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can make money off of this.
That's true.
Or you could charge them to kill themselves in your bathroom.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah.
The Jack Kevorkian of bathrooms.
Jack Kashiterian.
So Karen Kusama, Phil Hay, and Matt Manfredini, the team that brought us the impressive 2015 film The Invitation, are getting back together to bring out a new film entitled Destroyer. The film follows the moral and existential odyssey of LAPD detective Aaron Bell, played by Nicole Kidman, who, as a young cop, was placed undercover with a cult-like gang in the California desert with tragic results. When the leader of that gang reemerges many years later, she has to work her way back through the remaining members and into her own history with them to finally reckon with the demons that destroyed her past. So it looks like this team of people like to make movies about cults, because The Invitation was a pretty goddamn good movie about a cult.
We're not polarized. I don't think it sucks. It just didn't grab me, you know?
I really liked it.
It was a slow burn.
It was absolutely a slow burn, yeah.
Definitely not enough happened for me. So.
And I'm wondering if this is going to be like some kind of sequel. Like if there's a cult involved in each one, maybe there's going to be some sort of involvement between the two.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about cult movies that I don't like, is that they never really go in depth into the cult. There's always just a cult there, and you accept it for what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for something like Red State, where it took place within the confines of it. You don't really get a lot of that. So hopefully we'll see some of that. And Nicole Kidman proved her horror chops with the others. So good to see her getting her life back together after Scientology.
For sure. Something else that's going on right now. Our buddy Stephen Byro just premiered Song of Solomon.
Really?
Yes, American Guinea Pig. He had premiered at the prestigious festival in Europe, and he's out there hanging out with the dude who made Baskin.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they're bumming cigarettes off him.
Yeah, the guy who made Baskin and another really good movie. We Are the Flesh.
Yeah,
he's hanging out with those guys out there. So
I wonder if that guy's just like jerking off and dying.
Yeah, the flesh. I can't do it as good as you can.
We are the flesh.
Yeah, that's not my horror news, but I was just wanted to say something about that, supporting American Guinea Pig, Stephen Byro. So, all right. So we talked a little bit in a previous episode about upcoming German miniseries Dark. Now Netflix has unveiled a teaser trailer for it. Prepare for some Stranger Things vibes mixed in with a hefty dose of Twin Peaks.
Cool.
Created by Baron Bo Alder and Junt J. Frias.
You have some trouble with those German names, eh?
It's a supernatural drama series that is the streaming giant's first full German venture.
Oh.
It was created, produced, and filmed in Germany, stars German actors, and it's a 10-episode series set in a small German town where 2 children have vanished. It will boast a supernatural element, and the kids' disappearance will tie back to something that happened in 1986 and in 1953. The official logline for the teaser reads, "The disappearance of 2 kids in the German small town of Winden opens abysses that turn the concept of time on its head. The question is not who kidnapped the children, but when." Huh. So it's like a time travel kidnapping movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is a really cool fucking concept.
Yeah.
And the teaser trailer, it looks good. It looks like Stranger Things or something. Great cinematography. From what I saw, there's not a lot of acting and stuff in the actual teaser, but it looks very, very well made.
Is it in English or is it in German?
I think it's in German with English subtitles.
It'll be hard to tell if the actors are shitty then.
Yeah. It just premiered at the 2017 Toronto International Film Festival, and it's going to be on Netflix December 1st. So you guys can check out the teaser trailer on YouTube. Let us know what you think, but I'm excited for this one.
Cool. I'll give that a look. Yeah, I started watching the new Twin Peaks, and I've just been too tired from work and stoned at night to really process it. So I've tried to watch the first episode like 4 times, and I just keep passing out. I love the original Twin Peaks, and I was really excited for the return, but I'm going to have like a couple days off and like a weed-free night where I sit down and watch the whole thing.
When binge watch Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
And
well,
drink
I
coffee.
watched, what was that thing that you recommended to me?
Room 104?
No, the other one about the guy drawing the dicks.
Oh, American Vandal?
Vandal. I watched that all in one night.
Yeah.
It was so good. I was like...
fucking funny.
Oh, wow. I don't want to turn
Dude,
this
you
off.
gotta check out Room 104. I saw the first 2 episodes. I haven't seen the rest yet. I have the whole season, but...
I've got the Showtime app, so...
Yeah, so check it out. It's so good. The first two episodes are fucking great. James Vanderbeek is in the second episode.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait
for our lives to be over.
There's lyrics there somewhere, but goddamn, I don't know what they are.
I know the cadence and I know the timing, but I don't know all the dance moves. I've been practicing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get it down. So
for your performance art piece for our 100th episode extravaganza.
Yes, indeed. And so that's it for horror news, isn't it?
Yep.
So we'll be back with this episode is now entitled Biff's Creek. You'll always be my Joey. Don't ask me how I know the name of the character.
All right, I won't.
Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
Bank.
I went to the Santa Maria Mall yesterday to take the kids to the trampoline jumper place that just went up in there.
Oh yeah,
and
was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty cool for kids. I just used sat in the fucking massage chair. You pay $5 and massages you for 15 minutes. But there's this like haircutter place next door, and it's like a little kid's barbershop.
Oh yeah,
but there's a giant picture of Katie Holmes in the window.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've taken my kids there several times. Yeah. They put like glitter in their hair and they get their hair cut on a like plane while they're playing PlayStation and shit. It's pretty
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, got Katie Holmes in the window.
Yeah. It was the Katie Holmes from The Gift in the window.
Just naked.
I'd be in there.
Yeah. No, I don't need my haircut today. Can I promise with that gel, though?
Yeah. I want the sparkly, glittery kind of... I actually don't want gel, I want hairspray. I'm just going to use the whole can of hairspray. All right, we'll be back with the good movie and the bad movie after this.
Hi, thanks for listening to the Postmortem Podcast. If you want to support us, go to our website at www.postmortemshow.com and click the Amazon link.
By clicking on the Amazon banner, Amazon will give a small percentage of the purchase price of your item back to the Postmortem Podcast at no additional cost to you. That's right. It doesn't cost you any money. We get money. You want us to keep doing this? You want more Doug Jones talk? You want more dick and fart talk? I don't care. We're going to do it.
Fund our filthy, filthy habits.
Yes, and they are many and they are fast.
And most of them aren't legal.
Yes. Click the banner. Just do it.
Come on, don't be a dick. Give us money.
It's time for the good movie. And the bad movie.
I don't want to wait for your bad movie this week.
I'll give it to you.
Get it?
I'll give it to you hard.
Get it?
Yeah.
It's a callback to,
right.
to the beginning of the show.
Yeah, it is.
When I sang Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, way back when. All right, I'll fire this one off. Starting with our bad movie, right?
Indeed.
I'm total stoner. Right,
we always start with the bad movie. Yeah. This is episode 86.
We've been doing this for almost 2 fucking years.
Is this episode 86? What do you mean we start off with the bad movie?
I just totally blanked. It happens. So, I actually have a good movie and a less good movie. I'm not going to say that my bad movie is really a bad movie. It's just flawed. But it's a 2014 horror drama directed by Brad Anderson based on the short story The System of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather by Edgar Allan Poe. It's called Stonehurst Asylum. It's on Netflix right now. An Oxford graduate...
I saw the fucking picture for this movie and I would never watch it.
I only watched it because I saw...
It's like a Ouija experiment.
Well, I watched it because of the story it was based on and because Ben Kingsley was in it. Oh, okay. And those are two big selling points for me.
Ben Kingsley?
Yeah.
He's a sexy beast out here.
He is. So an Oxford graduate takes up a job in a mental asylum only to discover that the quote-unquote revolutionary new treatments are inhumane and that there's more going on than meets the eye. So this movie stars Kate Beckinsale as a hysteric mental patient who's more traumatized than mad. David Thewlis is the sadistic asylum groundskeeper. David Thewlis is the guy who is the... he's like the cheap Julian Sands who was in Island of Dr. Moreau. Blonde guy, super skinny, British.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Michael Caine as a psychiatrist and Ben Kingsley as the insane asylum directly.
Ben Kingsley?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I judge a book by its cover, but I'm kind of glad I did because it's your bad movie this week.
So, I'm going to start with the strong points of this movie. First of all, it was shot like an 80s era BBC teledrama, which I really liked. It was total throwback to old Doctor Who, Sherlock Holmes, and Canterbury Tales. The cinematography and the music was all very like grand and atmospheric. They put a lot of work into it to really set a mood and really like put you into this place. That was all very well done. Ben Kingsley gave an excellent performance. He was menacing and fucking crazy, but also sympathetic. And the movie depicted mental illness through a very Victorian lens, so it didn't bother me that the diagnosis that they had in the movie weren't accurate to modern standards, because it was ultimately...
They didn't know what the fuck they're doing back then.
Yeah. And the movie was ultimately a critique of how medicine has treated mental illness over the years.
You got tuberculosis? You better go to the insane asylum.
Yeah, you got demons. Your husband raped you and you bit his ear off? You better go to the insane asylum.
Blowing smoke up their ass to get rid of the demons.
Yeah.
Like Mondo magic.
Shocking their balls. And
I still do that to this day.
Blow smoke in your ass to get rid of the demons?
Oh, well, no, I told my wife she's possessed.
Oh.
So
you had to blow smoke in her ass to get rid of the demons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she did not appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, that's what... No,
well, I mean, when you wake up at like 3:30 in the morning and you don't know how you got on your hands and
your husband is naked doing a headstand with a beer bong.
Yeah.
Blowing beer into your ass and saying, I have to get rid of the demons. Time to reevaluate your life.
Yeah, a little bit. But this movie did have its weak points. It had a great build, but it got fucking stupid towards the end. It focused on a weak, contrived love story and put the mystery that made the first 3/4 of the movie so interesting on the back burner.
Was it a ghost movie?
No.
Oh, that's what I thought. Just based on that.
Yeah. Ultimately, it hinted at a lot more than it delivered, which made it a big disappointment. This was one of those the lunatics are running the asylum concepts.
Yeah.
You know, and it can make for a compelling, scary story that makes a solid point, but for some reason, film studios always feel the need to attach love stories to these movies, and it almost always feels shoehorned in and weakens them. This movie was much better than Shutter Island or A Cure for Wellness and other movies like that. But it was,
I liked Shutter Island a lot more than A Cure for Wellness.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And I liked this better than Shutter Island, actually.
Okay.
But it was still heavily flawed and ultimately collapsed under its own weaknesses before it ended. The atmosphere and the acting were good. If you want to see a great depiction of a crazy person when you give them power, Ben Kingsley's performance was excellent. And ultimately, I'm going to give this movie 6 out of 10 Blackulas. It was better than average, but
Asylums. I don't know if that's enough for a top 5, but I mean, for my money, Silence of the Lambs with Miggs.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking strong.
A good mental asylum movie
and
is great.
Also, in 12 Monkeys, that'd be my other one.
Yeah.
So
there's one, I don't remember what it's called, but fucking of all people, David Caruso's in it, and it's about this construction team that goes in to basically clear the asbestos out of an old abandoned asylum, and everything goes fucking batshit nuts in there.
I've never seen that.
I can't
Is it
remember
like 90s or what?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
Huh? Can't place it. So, kind of similar to yours. Not a bad movie. My bad movie this week. It's just because my good movie was a lot better. But 2015, directed by Michael Thielen in his first film, starring Sarah Bolger. I don't know if it's pronounced Amelie or Emily. It's Emelie. And couple's replacement babysitter turns out to be more than she bargained for when she subjects their kids to a series of twisted activities.
What's it called?
Emily or Amelie?
The movie? Oh,
Emelie.
Okay.
I think it was Emily. I think
Emily,
that's what they were saying. But,
yeah.
This actually, I watched this a couple weeks ago and I had it on the back burner because we were doing out the movies, nostalgia thrillers. I had a worse bad movie and a better good movie. So it's been a while. But, yeah, it's watchable. I'll say that. But cold opens with a woman asking for directions from a young lady and then her and a man abducting the woman. Then we meet the Thompson family. A dad, a mom, a 12-year-old son, 8-year-old daughter, and a 3-year-old son. It's their anniversary and their sitter isn't available, so they go with Anna, who comes highly recommended. But the real Anna is the one being abducted, and Emily shows up pretending to be her. She's super friendly at first, but after the parents leave, she starts to get really weird. She tells the kids they should play hide-and-go-seek, and then goes rifling through all the parents' stuff. She gets creepy with the oldest boy in the bathroom, calls him into the bathroom, and makes him give her a tampon. It makes her unwrap it, makes him unwrap it, and puts it in her with this 12-year-old boy watching.
Wow.
But she makes him do it too.
Oh wow!
It's very strange, and it's super awkward.
Yeah.
So she then proceeds to let them paint on the walls of the living room, feeds the sister's pet hamster to the brother's snake, and makes them all watch it. One pet from one kid fed to the other kid.
That's fucked up.
In front of him, and she's distraught. The little girl. It's really fucked up. The crescendo. The worst fucking thing about this is she sits them all in the living room and makes them all watch their own parents' homemade sex tape.
So this is like an extreme version of that episodes of The Simpsons with Miss Botzikowski?
Yeah, pretty much. And she then reads them horrible, inappropriate bedtime stories. We don't get the reasons behind why she's doing all these things till about halfway through the movie. It would have been better if they never explained it. If she was just fucked up.
Like Funny Games or something.
Yeah, like Funny Games. This movie would have been so much better. The weak-ass backstory and what happens after, that's what kind of shot it down for me.
Right.
But that setup and those horrible things she was doing, it was like you felt, and the child actors were really good, especially the oldest boy. The oldest boy was great. The young boy and the young girl, they got to get who they can get at that age. But the oldest boy, he conveyed, especially the tampon scene, where she's like, "Come here,
yeah,
it's okay," you know.
It's inappropriate.
Yeah, it's super inappropriate, but like just the whole scenario is very like I was disturbed watching it, like, uncomfortable watching it, you know. And very rarely do you get that in the movie, so that's why I like this.
And generally, when it's something like that, it's like a girl that it's happening to. It's not a girl doing it to a guy.
Exactly. Yeah, and a little boy to like a babysitter.
Yeah.
You know? Who can resist that? So, I would have preferred if she was just a crazy bitch with little motive, and the motivations are definitely not only illogical, but seem like an excuse to make this movie happen, to make the plot go along. I also have a major problem with the third act. That being said, the first two acts are good and disturbing. It's definitely not your run-of-the-mill babysitter horror movie, where the babysitter is protecting the kids from the killer.
Right.
The babysitter is a threat.
Right.
And that's a refreshing take on it, you know? This is Michael Thelon's first feature film, so I'll be a little forgiving with my rating since the direction is good. And the problem mainly is with the story, not the direction. It's worth a one-time viewing just for Sarah Bulger's performance, but I can never see myself ever like rewatching it. IMDb gives it a 5.4. I would give it, just like yours, a 6.0. Kilos.
Nice. Yeah, I'll check that out. Maybe it's because I've been listening to a lot of like last podcasts on the left, and like then been inspired to go read about serial killers after that. But the more I think about it, the more that like movies really like they feel this need to justify the actions of psychos instead of just being like they're a psycho, and that really
like Richard Chase.
Yeah,
no justification needed.
Yeah,
I'm just taking a shortcut.
Yeah, fucking sickos. You know, like why can't a movie just be about sickos? You know, why do they got to fucking jump through hoops to justify what the sicko is doing?
Yeah, their backstory
in the real world.
That's
sometimes
like
people just do shit.
A perfect example, like you said, was Funny Games.
Yeah,
Funny Games is a perfect movie.
Yeah,
and it was so good because they didn't justify it. They didn't go with that backstory.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Good shit. So,
like, regurgitated sacrifice. Why is Hank Skinny puking in that girl's severed head? Why?
Because he's Hank fucking Skinny.
Yeah, he's fucking Hank Skinny, and that's what Hank Skinny does. If he didn't do it, he wouldn't be Hank Skinny. Wearing an octopus on his head, puking in a severed skull. That's right. All right, my good movie is a 2016 psychedelic post-apocalyptic love story directed by Anna Lily Amirpour. Streaming now on Netflix, The Bad Batch.
I've had this in my queue, and we talked about the show. You know, we try not to have the same. We try not to line up on movies, so we talk about 4 movies. You know.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch it because of that reason. I went with something else, and I'm still gonna watch it, especially if you're getting a positive review, because this fucker looks pretty crazy.
Yeah. So this movie is a love story set in a community of cannibals in a future dystopia. In the desert wasteland in Texas, a muscled cannibal breaks one important rule: don't play with your food. That barely sums up what this movie is. This movie stars Jason Momoa as a sensitive cannibal, Jim Carrey as a mute wasteland scavenger, Keanu Reeves as a Jim Jones-inspired cult leader, and Giovanni Ribisi as a schizophrenic street preacher.
That's a star-studded cast. Yeah.
So, what this movie really is in this post-apocalyptic world, not post-apocalyptic world, just a dystopian world. It's not even post-apocalyptic. There's this section of Texas that's been fenced off, and they send criminals there. It's like a penal colony, but they don't just send criminals there. They send people who are deformed there, retarded, crazy. If you do anything that kind of just goes against society's norms...
You know what? You're going to Biff Island. Biff Island.
You're going to Biff Island, exactly. They tattoo a number on the back of your ear, and they call you part of the Bad Batch, and they fucking send you out in the desert to figure out yourself. And there's 2 camps of people that live in the desert. There's this one group of people who have sought to strike out their flaws, and they're the cannibals.
Yeah.
And the cannibals spend all day working out. They're all fucking ripped, and like... Jason Momoa's character is also a sensitive artist, and they're all just trying to like strike out their weakness, and anyone who's weak they eat. They straight up fucking butcher them and eat them. And then there's this other place called Comfort, which is started by the Jim Jones style Keanu Reeves character, where he encourages people to embrace their flaws. And there's sort of a more passive community. They're vegetarians. And he is trying to build an economy based entirely on vegetables and drugs. So he has like these raves every night, and everyone's there having fun, and like it seems like a good place to go. So this chick gets dropped in the fucking wasteland and goes off, and the first people she encounters is the cannibals, and they fucking hack off one of her arms and one of her legs and eat them, and they leave her alive, and she manages to escape by smearing herself in her own shit, and then when they go to hose her off, she makes her fucking daring escape. And she wanders off into the desert. She actually has to...
It's a natural reflex.
Yeah, she has to find a skateboard, and she's like on her back pushing herself along on a skateboard through the desert until this mute scavenger guy, played by Jim Carrey, who's completely unrecognizable. He's got like a dreadlocked beard, and his skin's all fucking matted, and he's got these teeth that look like they're like just covered in plaque and completely ground down. And until you really start watching some of his body motions, it looks like just some random homeless guy they found. And he takes her to comfort, and, you know, she lives there.
Tells her all about the dangers of fire.
Right.
Let me tell you something, little
Let me tell you
amputee, skateboard amputee.
Broken beans! So he takes her to comfort, and she builds a life there. She gets a prosthetic leg, but never gets her arm replaced. And once she's healthy enough, she decides she's going to get revenge, so she gets a gun, and she starts heading back towards the cannibal town to find the lady that chopped off her arm and leg, and she does, and she kills her. And it turns out, I keep wanting to call him Roman Reigns, but Jason Momoa. Turns out
he is Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he's like Roman Reigns is like his derpy younger brother, because Jason Momoa is a fucking god. Like, looking at him, like his DNA is not human. There's something more to him. But it turns out that she's his wife, and they have a daughter, and the girl kills the wife and takes the daughter. And not because she wants to kidnap her, but because she was gonna kill her, but then she felt guilty. And so she brings the daughter back to comfort. Is like, she gets her a rabbit, and is like, I'm the only person who cares about you now. And then some shit goes down, and the girl ends up living with Keanu Reeves, the Jim Jones character, and the amputee chick re-encounters Jason Momoa's character out in the waste. And initially, like, they hate each other, and he's gonna, like, kill her if she doesn't bring the daughter back, and she leaves him out in the desert. And then she starts to realize that, like, maybe the cannibals aren't all bad, and maybe the people where she live aren't all good.
Yeah.
And it kind of, like, builds from there.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So the strong points of this movie is that the cinematography is fucking excellent. This movie is gorgeous. The way she shoots the deserts, the way she shoots the people, the lighting.
The only thing I was worried about is the picture looks like CGI hell. Is it
None.
CGI?
Zero.
Really?
The only CGI is her amputated arm and leg, and you can't even tell.
Because it's not there, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Okay. I'll give it a chance for sure then.
Yeah, no, it's just like, it's just rich colors, rich tones, the way that she shoots everything, and then color corrects everything. This girl, this woman who directed this movie knows her shit. She also made the movie A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, which was a black and white movie, but was also excellent.
I wasn't really a good fan of that.
Really?
Like, I didn't even finish it, yeah. Maybe just because I wasn't into it, you know, it was just like too slow for me or something.
Right.
I don't know. Between the black and white and being slow, but I'm still going to give this a chance just based on that's an all-star cast.
Yeah, the casting is effective as fuck. The story is really unique, and it's one that hasn't been told before. It does have some weak points, though. My biggest complaint is that the dialogue was mostly whispered, and then the music was really loud. So I kept having to turn it up and turn it down because it'd be like, "What are they saying? What are they saying?" And then they would blast you out.
And then the bum played by Jim Carrey was also like, "Do you know her? Does she call you at home? Do you have a dorsal fin?" And you're like, that doesn't make any sense with this movie.
Ride the snake.
Ride the snake. That's the best ever. Ride the snake. I haven't thought about that forever. Dom's referencing a SNL skit with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, great one.
Meth weight loss.
Yeah, meth diet. he looked like he was on the meth diet in this movie, man. He was fucked up.
Same with when he was the fucking the lifeguard.
Yeah. Though the music was very good, they blasted you out with it. Also, Jason Momoa's Cuban accent was not good. He should just not talk. A few punches were pulled with the violence where stuff happened off screen, and with the gritty tone of this movie, it would not have been gratuitous for them to show a little bit more. But that may have been a budgetary thing too. You know, if you can't do the effect right, don't CG it, don't do it cheaply, just do it off screen. So that's a minor complaint. Also, there are some pacing issues. It gets a little slow at some points, but then it explodes into interesting stuff again. It's just like every once in a while you're like, oh, shit, is something going to happen? Oh, it happened.
Yeah.
So on the whole, this was a solid, interesting, weird movie. It was really at its strongest when the actors used their body language and facial expressions to tell the story. Amirpour, I think, is proving herself as a force to be reckoned with as a director of strange, artistic, dystopian films, and I'll definitely watch anything that she puts out at this point. And I'm going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10 Blaculas.
Well, 7.5 is a pretty strong rating. We'll see where I get with this one. I think it might be a little higher. Spoiler alert. So, something we've talked about several times on the podcast is our love for Mike Flanagan.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing we've talked about a couple times is Gerald's Game.
Oh, good. You watched it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Oh, yeah. 2017, directed by Mike Flanagan, based on the novel by Stephen King, starring Carlo Gugino and Bruce Greenwood. Gerald's Game. Okay, so my review is going to be pretty concise because, believe it or not, with a woman tied to the fucking bed with handcuffs, and that's the premise of the whole movie, and that's what you are following the entire movie, there could be massive spoilers.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And that's, I never read Gerald's Game. I've read a lot of Stephen King and stuff. I never read this book.
Yeah,
I never had
any
interest in it, but this is a good, well-made movie. And just hearing that it was the whole plot, her being tied to the bed, made me think like, oh, what are they going to do? This might be fucking boring.
Limited storytelling for sure.
It's not, so. While trying to spice up their marriage in their remote lake house, Jessie must fight to survive when her husband dies unexpectedly, leaving her handcuffed to the bed frame. So, husband Gerald and wife Jessie head to a remote area for a vacation. Gerald hasn't even tried to have sex with Jessie for months, but he takes her to a cabin, pops some Viagra, and handcuffs her to the fucking bed. When he starts to talk real dirty, she doesn't like it and tells him to stop, and then she doesn't want to do this anymore. But Gerald dies on top of her of a heart attack, leaving her stranded in a remote lake house with his body on top of her.
Wow.
And spread with her hands basically crucified to the bedpost. Yeah. And that's the setup, and that's the whole fucking movie. Is her tied to the bedpost.
With a corpse on top of her?
Well, she gets it off eventually, but the whole thing is like, that does not sound entertaining at all. But it really is. I would say with the whole setup, we get, so after that happens, we get Jessie's inner monologue via her seeing herself talking to herself, as well as her dead husband. Also, he's on the floor dead, but also he's talking to her sitting on the bed, as well as herself talking to her. Wow. Sounds a little weird, right?
Yeah.
This film is entirely about one character's struggle with her inner demons, as well as her dire situation. Might be some of Mike Flanagan's best work.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah. Cinematography and direction are amazing. I was really wondering how they would do it with such limited storytelling and inner dialogue, but it translated very well. Her memories play out before her in the room, similar to the movie Low. Remember Low?
Yeah.
How like they'd pan over to the shadows, and all of a sudden another set would be right there in the shadows.
Yeah.
Like you're never leaving the space, but you're traveling between time and memories within the same room, but they make it work. And her memories play out before her in the room, just like Low, like I said, where the lighting changes, morph into other areas. There's some extremely disturbing scenes, such as their flashback to the eclipse as a young girl. The hand scene and Raymond are also really well done and effective. Practical effects, although not used often, are very great.
Nice.
Some good gore in this movie. Carla Gugino carries this movie on her fucking back and is terrific as Jessie. Bruce Greenwood is a scene stealer as Gerald, and if a lesser actor portrayed Gerald, I would think that it might have ruined the movie.
Wow.
Even with her strong performance, with his visions and him talking to her, and his attitude towards her when he's like a ghost, basically, that really made the movie work to me.
Sounds like kind of like 127 hours, where the concept doesn't sound gripping until you really get into the meat and potatoes of it.
For sure, and this is better than 127 hours.
Wow,
by far.
That's a great movie.
So yeah, I agree. Ending is a little ham-handed, but excusable based on the quality of the movie. It was a little too tacked on and wrapped up to a nice, neat little package, whereas I prefer a more ambiguous or left up to interpretation ending. I'll definitely be giving this a second or even multiple watches.
Wow.
Well, it may be getting all the press. I would say that Gerald's Game delivers at close to the same level as it, but it's a way different type of movie. It's extremely character and performance driven. I watched this about a week ago, and I've thought about it multiple times since the first viewing.
Nice.
So it's stayed with me. IMDb gives it a 6.9. I'll give it 8.5 kilos.
Nice. I might go home and watch that tonight.
It's worth watching, man. I watched it, like, we went to bed. We were laying in bed. I put it on, and both of us stayed up watching.
By put it on, you mean you put the handcuffs on Aubrey and...
Yeah, and acted out. I had a heart attack.
You
died right
yeah.
in front of her, yeah. She had to fight off countless assailants.
Biff over and over again.
Over and over, which is pretty similar to the movie. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it's something that it'll draw you in if you turn your fucking phone off and watch this movie. If I would have been semi-distracted, I wouldn't have liked it near as much as just me one-on-one with the movie.
Gotcha. So make sure you've had something to eat, you've taken a shit, your phone's turned off.
Yeah.
Go sit down and watch Gerald's Game. Okay.
That's a way to experience it, I would say.
Cool. Maybe I'll do that tonight. I'll definitely take a shit tonight, so I'm 1/3 of the way there already.
You'll probably turn your phone off also.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, that's our good movie and our bad movie.
That's it, and we will be back with Biffson's Creek.
I don't want to wait for this cone to be off my head.
He's so sad right now. Dude, $546 for the first initial vet visit.
It's ridiculous.
$29 to rebandage him and check him. And I go back in next Friday. And they're going to tell me how much it is to cut the stitches out, take all the fucking...
He's got to go out there and pedal his ass, man.
This dog...
Pay you back.
My retarded, blind, and deaf dog is... I'm like almost $3,000 invested into him at this point. And I got him for free.
Yeah.
I found him and I saved him. I saved his life.
And how does he thank you?
How does he thank me? By making me pay $3,000.
Yep.
Motherfucker,
Yep.
Biff.
That's why every time I see a dog on the street, I just flip it off.
You know what,
flip it off and drive by.
That's the reason why I put your face on our podcast.
Yeah.
And try, because, with all these massive TVs being purchased through our Amazon, we're starting to make some money off of this shit. So, Biff, I'll make money off you. You're going to pay me back.
He's going to earn his keep. Motherfucker.
All right, we'll be back with the top 5 cemeteries, morgues, and mortuaries after that. Thank you guys for all your support, sharing our shit, liking our page,
listening
weekly,
not suing us
semi-weekly,
getting semi-hard
for 30 seconds once.
Yeah.
No matter how long you listen, we still support you. Unless it is just one episode, then fuck you.
Yeah.
You better run for the fucking hills.
Run through the jungle.
That's not what this is about. What this is about is we have now started the official Facebook group of Post-Mortem Show.
Go on Facebook, look up Post-Mortem Show Horror Movie Podcast for a chance to share your favorite horror memes with us and occasionally be shit-talked by me.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah, I've already done it once.
Yeah, guys, join the group. We have thousands of listeners to the show. Right now, the group only has about 300 members.
Yeah.
So please add yourself. Please share it. Share it with the world.
Yeah. Just don't say stupid
Let
ass
us into your
shit.
lives. Listen to your lives.
Yeah. Open
You
yourself
to
wide.
me?
Open
You wanna
yourself
talk
to
Dom?
us.
You want to talk to Biff?
We will
soon to be one-eared Biff.
We will put Biff on the computer if that's what you want.
We're gonna have an official event in the group. It's gonna be Facebook Live Q&A with Biff, and I'm just gonna put Biff on Facebook Live, sitting there, and he'll answer all your questions.
Maybe we could do it as like a video chat thing.
Yeah, so that's official Facebook group, Post-Mortem Show Horror Movie Podcast. Please join. Please share it with your friends. And we're back with the top 5 cemeteries, morgues and mortuaries, the places of the dead. Oh, the places of the dead.
Yes!
Oh, yes! I met him right before he died.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of a dick.
Really?
Paul Bear, kind of a dick.
Huh.
Yeah. A little bit, but he's okay. But we're not here to talk about Paul Bear.
Just the places he lives.
Just the places he runs.
That's right.
And I'll start us off with my number 5, a little movie called Aftermath. Japanese movie featuring mutilation, masturbation, and necrophilia.
It's like the big 3.
If you want to watch Kim Jong-un cut up a woman's body and fuck it, and fuck to pieces and masturbate.
That's what's missing in my life, actually.
This is the movie for you.
There was a hole in my life shaped like Kim Jong-un fucking a corpse, and now I know how to fill that hole. It's...
Just the same way you did, by fucking a corpse.
Exactly. Like you always watch those movies that have like excessive nudity out of Japan, and you wonder if like they're actually blurring out their genitals, or if Japanese people just have pixelated genitals. I've never been with a Japanese person, so I don't know. I can't speak from personal experience.
It's not pixelated, but the vagina goes horizontally.
Sideways pussy. Shit.
That's extremely racist, and I apologize.
There's something about like Japanese people doing sick shit that's like way more intense. Like they're more into it.
I have the opposite point of view.
Yeah,
I think it's more like acceptable when Japanese people do weird stuff. If your friend down the street if you walked in, of 123 East Main Street, America, and your friend was watching a video of a tentacle going in a woman's vagina, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But if you're in Japan, you'd be like, "Oh, hi,
yeah,
konnichiwa,
konnichiwa, hero." Oh, you're watching some of that downhole Japanese programming. In America, we have Family
Japan.
Ties and the Cosby Show, and in Japan, they just have schoolgirls getting fucked by octopus.
Well, Cosby Show, there was a lot of rape as well, but not with a tentacle,
right?
Just with the pudding pop.
Yeah,
yeah. Thank you, Japan. I love you.
Sorry about that whole bombing thing. Thanks for the tentacle porn. So, my number 5 is the Deacon Funeral Parlor from Afterlife.
Yeah, Christina Ricci's boobs.
Naked. Whole movie.
Naked boobs.
Naked for the whole movie.
And you got Liam Neeson.
Being creepy.
Yeah.
And those are 2 selling points for me. And I've said this, I've mentioned this movie a couple times before, but we don't really talk a lot about it. It's kind of an underrated gem. A lot of people haven't heard of it, and which surprises me, because a movie where Christina Ricci is naked the whole time, you'd think it would be fucking, the biggest film in the history of big films. But it's not, and it's actually, aside from the nudity and the creepiness, it's actually a really like smartly written psychological film. So yeah, go watch Afterlife.
Yeah, definitely. Was one of my awkward boners.
Yeah,
Christina Ricci.
Yeah,
saw her as young Wednesday Addams. We were about the same age. That's not creepy.
No,
it's not creepy at all.
No, but you grow into it.
Yeah,
you grew together.
Just every time I send her those letters, she doesn't reply.
Yeah. You got to stop sending your toenail clippings. That's why.
Well, the way I look at it is that's a sign of respect in my people. That's where I come from. That's a sign of respect, and it's an endearing love to give someone pieces of your own body.
Right.
I gave her my foreskin. She didn't even call me back.
Wow, what a bitch.
Yeah, my whole foreskin.
Yeah.
Well, okay, 3/4.
Yeah.
3/4. I still have a quarter.
Okay, just dangling.
No, I have a belly button piercing, and it's like a chain,
right?
Like one of those ones that's kind of like a double chain thing.
Yeah,
kind of hangs down, and my foreskin's tied between the 2 chains. The quarter of foreskin I still have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Number 4. My number 4 is an Italian horror movie, kind of similar to Beyond the Darkness. Burial Ground.
Yeah.
It features
Italian cest.
Italian cest.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very very good spice to use, but instantly once you use it, you feel guilty after eating it.
Yeah.
But it features nipple bite incest and some of the worst zombies you may ever see. But
just slap some Play-Doh on their faces.
Yeah, slap some Play-Doh on their faces, bite some nipples off. At least it's disturbing.
Yeah.
And take it how you want, but I put it maybe like number 3 of Italian movies.
Yeah.
Beyond the Darkness.
Where does it fall on your scale of incest movies?
I'm never going to give an incest movie rating system. It's never going to happen.
You're never going to reveal what it is.
Listeners have suggested things similar to that.
Yeah.
Not really, actually. Thank you guys for sending in your top 5 list. Seriously, with the new Facebook group and with our email, we're getting bombarded. Like, to where we're backed up for like
which is good because we were running out of ideas.
Yeah, I know. So if we don't read your top 5 suggestions,
we were just randomly
week, just know we will do it.
We were randomly like pulling Scrabble letters out of the bag and top 5 shitting scenes.
If by the bag you mean the body cavity of a corpse that was
filled with Scrabble tiles,
that puts a whole meaning to a Scrabble that I've never got before.
I want to play that game. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Scrabble. I love me some Scrabble.
Corpse Scrabble.
Corpse Scrabble. Give me your number 4.
My number 4 is the Tall Man's Mortuary in Phantasm.
Yeah.
Place of pure, batshit, undead insanity. You know, like, going back and watching those movies again when we watch Ravager, every time I watch them, I realize a little bit more how fucking crazy they are. You know, I can't remember the dude's name who made all those movies off the top of my head right now.
Don Coscarelli.
That guy's got some shit going on in his head.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the Phantasm movies have only scratched the surface of that at this
point. Number 1 is great. Number 2 is okay. Number 3 is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking out there.
Yeah.
But Oblivion, I don't exist. It doesn't exist to me.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But a Ravager, like, a lot of people shit on it.
It was a deep movie. There was
you
some
need
shit
to go,
going on
okay,
there.
here's your... Okay, so what I want you to do, I want you to start a band. I want you to tour the countryside and get some girl pregnant. When you're 23 years old, you have to be 23 years old, that you've only known for 3 months, and then raise a child and stop being in a band. Then I want you to eventually divorce that woman and meet another woman, the woman of your dreams that makes it all better. And then prior to that, you were doing death matches all around the country, and your name's JD Horror.
Right.
And
has to be.
It has to be, yeah, to understand this concept.
Right.
So eventually you go on a honeymoon to a cabin in the woods and you watch Phantasm Ravager for the first time.
After massive amounts of consummation.
After being dry. No fluids left.
Dust like a mummy.
Yeah, you're coming dust. You're coming powdered milk.
It sounds like this.
It's like a fucking Jake break in a semi-truck. It's all
Jizzing gravel.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
It sounds like a band name. Jizzing gravel.
Then you watch Phantasm Ravager for the first time ever in your life.
It's the right mindset to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say anything else.
All right. We're at number 3. And that's
number 3. My number 3 is the most mainstream pick on my list. Trash. Dancing in the Cemetery Naked.
Yep.
Return of the Living Dead.
Yep.
It's one of the greatest movies ever.
That movie's a double whammy. It's got a cemetery and a mortuary.
Yeah. Split dogs. Gotta burn them.
Yeah.
Gotta burn your split dogs.
Weird ass, creepy corpse puppets coming to life. Girls with no vaginas dancing.
Yeah, no vaginas. A prosthetic vagina.
Yeah.
With no slit.
It's creepy.
I would prefer a gaper than nothing there at all.
Yeah. Just like
terrifying.
Like an open maw.
That's the scariest part of that movie. She
Yeah.
had no vagina.
And she's shaking it around, shaking around her lack of vagina.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about this before. But
She's like a fucking Cabbage Patch doll.
Somebody
Cabbage Patch doll striptease.
Somebody had to make a prosthetic for that. You know, they could have very simply just put her in a thong and let her dance around in a thong. But no, it couldn't be that way.
No.
They had to make a fucking prosthetic.
And they showed her
non-vag.
full spread asshole.
Yeah.
No, they didn't show that, but
And it had teeth.
Yeah.
My number 3 is the Haunted Cemetery from The Frighteners. Another place of pure insanity.
My number 2 as well.
Really?
R. Lee Ermey.
Yeah.
From Full Metal Jacket. Going
Yeah.
crazy with machine guns.
Yeah.
All the different corpses getting up, walking around.
Doing their thing.
Michael J. Fox, the only way that he got out of the cemetery as a ghost is because he's slippery.
Yeah.
Just hear me out. Since he got Parkinson's, he's a little wiry.
Right.
He's shaking.
Yeah.
You can't really get a hold
Hard to get a hold on him, yeah.
Yeah. He's like a snake covered in Vaseline.
He's like a greased up deaf guy.
Yeah. It's like when I get really hammered and I try to masturbate,
You just can't get a
Try
grip
to
on
lube
it.
it up. I can't get it. It's dancing, and I'm trying to sing that song.
It's waving around like a wacky waving inflatable.
Biting me the whole time, poisoning me.
Are you sure that's not Biff? The thing that I like about this scene, though, is that like there's this idea that ghosts are just like sentient balls of pathos and insanity. And that's really how that felt, going through that cemetery, and every ghost was sort of locked in its own little world, where that was the most important thing in the world to it. And it's just a really good depiction of what it would be like to be in that situation.
For sure.
What's your number 2?
My number two was the Frightener Cemetery. So we got to go back to your number 2.
My number 2 is the Addams Family Cemetery in the Addams Family.
Fuck, it's not even on my honorable mentions.
It's
completely forgot about it. It's so good.
It's a good
Even
set.
Edward Scissorhands is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good cemetery too. Yeah, that whole thing. It's just like that just got pulled. It's such like a wonderland. And on Halloween they go out and they play Wake the Dead, where they go and dig up the corpses because when they're squishy, that's when they're the best.
Yeah, Addams Family's fucking dark.
Dark as hell. Yeah. It starts with them pouring fucking boiling oil on Christmas carolers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fucking good. My kids love it.
Yeah. It's the first scary movie that I exposed Michelle's kids to, and they liked it too. So there's hope for them to move forward into the territory of horror.
My number 1. McCutcheon. Ring a bell?
No.
But I guarantee that one time in your life you've asked for the Cunningham Wake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to get yourself a little Cunningham Wake? The wake is closed, you little shit. Come back tomorrow. That dude with the droopy eye, so great as McCutcheon, and his mortuary of the not the dead, but the living naked horror vampires in Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood.
That's right.
What a great mortuary! Because when you go down that casket,
it's a hortuary.
It's a hortuary. You go down that fucking water slide casket, you're greeted by women with 3 nipples.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's a party.
And Lilith herself. It is a fucking party down there. It's by far the biggest party in a cemetery, graveyard, anything like that on the list.
Absolutely. So they get down there.
My number 1, the Bordello of Blood.
Nice.
The McCutcheon Mortuary.
My number 1, it's a cemetery and it's a world unto itself. It's the Buffalora Cemetery in Cemetery Man.
Yeah.
You gotta have a good cemetery if it's in the fucking title of the movie. Come on.
For sure.
But that movie it's very, very Silent Hill, and very, like trapped in this endless cycle of who's dead and who's alive. And the way that they do the cemetery with the catacombs underneath where Nagi lives, and it's just sort of like a bunch of worlds of insanity sandwiched on top of each other. And it's a good analogy for the main character's brain too.
For sure.
And the cemetery itself, there's a zombie epidemic and they never really explain why. And the graves are coming to life and shit's creepy. Another one of those hidden gems that not a lot of people have seen.
For sure. And I remember seeing it like when it came out, it was like 95, 94. As a kid and being like, this is good, but I don't understand it. And then watching it later and being like, yeah, Cemetery Man.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, great movie. Great soundtrack too.
Definitely. Honorable mentions. My honorable mentions. I wanted to go more obscure. I don't want to go with everything we always talk about. So I didn't go with the Morgue and Reanimator.
Right.
I didn't go with I Kick Ass for the Lord, the Cemetery and Dead Alive. Couple more. Creepshow.
Yeah.
Thanks for the cake. Not my fucking cake, Bedelia. It's Father's Day. Midian and Nightbreed.
Yeah.
Another one that I didn't want to bring up because we've talked about it.
Yeah.
My favorite Friday the 13th, Jason Lives, Part 6. The very beginning when Jason gets lightning on the fucking spear. Die! Fuck you! And his friend's all scared.
Yeah.
Throw him back in the grave. Some folks don't know what to do. The little fucking grave guy. He comes back and seals the grave of Jason.
Yeah.
Makes Tommy Jarvis into the crazy person. But
it's a great movie.
It is. Like you said, Phantasm. House.
Yeah.
It's a graveyard.
It is.
It's a house, but it's a graveyard
of memories.
Serpent in the Rainbow. There's some graveyards in there.
There is.
Underrated movie. Got to check it out. Night Watch.
Yeah.
Night Watch scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
More than most horror movies. You know,
Really?
it's more of a thriller, but just like I remember watching the trailer and being scared as a kid, you know? It's like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And seeing it and like, this is fucking good. Ewan McGregor's really fucking good movie, so check out Night Watch. I Sell the Dead.
It's a great movie. I love that movie.
So underrated.
Yeah.
Afterlife, like you said, naked Christina Ricci. Necromantic. There's not a lot of cemeteries. That's why it didn't come on my list.
But there's him skipping through the cemetery, twirling the guts.
Yes.
I didn't even cross my mind.
Would be remiss if I didn't mention Necromantic on Top 5 Cemeteries. Autopsy of Jane Doe came out like a fucking cannon last year.
It did.
I did not expect that from that movie, and it's so fucking good. So if you guys have avoided it because of the name, Autopsy of Jane Doe is so good. As is The Corpse of Anna Fritz.
Yeah.
Another similar women, corpse, cemetery,
less supernatural.
Autopsy. Yeah, but it's still fucking good. Autopsy of Jane Doe, much more supernatural and very good. Body Bags. In between the segments, John Carpenter and Body Bags. Tales from the Hood. Cuban B.
I'm Cuban.
Cuban B. Tales from the Hood. The buffer in that as well.
Yep.
And couldn't make the list. Can't talk about it anymore, but Reanimator.
Even though you said in the beginning you're not going to do it.
I said I'm not going to do it.
But you did it anyway.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I said I wouldn't do it. I'm not sorry.
All right. I've got Cemetery and Mortuary and Return to the Living Dead. I've got The Mortuary and the film Mortuary. Bill Paxton, R.I.P. Great early performance of his career. The Morgue and Corpse of Anna Fritz. The Tilted Mortuary and the Autopsy of Jane Doe. The Medieval Cemetery and Army of Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Klaatu Barada.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
And last but not least, probably my zero, actually. The Crypt Keeper's House and Tales from the Crypt.
Fuck yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Same with Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Didn't cross my mind. So I'm not taking chair shots to the head or anything like that anymore. Or these horrible headbutts, but the damage is done.
It is, yeah.
I think hopefully the brain will regrow itself. You know, kind of like a slug. If you cut it off, it
right, like a starfish. You cut off its arm, and maybe you'll grow two
hopefully
brains.
My brain is a starfish.
Yeah.
Right now, it's more like a wiffle ball. But yeah, it's growing back. Don't getting punched in the face.
Coming back stronger.
All right. Hopefully, we'll be coming back stronger next week with our next top 5. We've had a lot of listener suggestions. And we're going to get to all your lists. If you send a list, don't think that we're not going to get to it if it takes a while.
Sometimes we do this shit once a week. It takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. Sometimes people are ahead of you, and also sometimes your list is a lot of research.
Yeah.
Some of your lists are a lot of research.
Yeah.
So if it's easy, it's more likely to get fired off in the next week. But
in the chamber.
In the chamber. I don't want to wait.
And as H.P. Lovecraft once said, because he didn't want to
wait. As he rode a fucking boat up to his neighbor's house.
If it smells like fish,
throw the fucker back.
Throw the fucker.
Sorry about your stereo, but that song makes me crazy.
I don't want to wait for my lunch to get colder. Why can't I eat it now? I don't want to wait for the new Toyota. I want the car that's got a lot of gas. Come on, Joey, I want to be with you.
Dawson, I'm just not ready to give up my virginity.
Come on.
No, I promised myself that I'd save it for the man that I marry.
Come on, that's stupid.
I'm just not comfortable, you know?
Well, I don't know. This is like the 90s, man. I mean, it's like everybody's... Come on, you saw me on that boat. I was wearing a blazer. Yeah, come on.
No, I don't want to, all right? I don't want to right now. I told you I'm not comfortable. I think you could respect that. You know?
I totally respect it. That just makes me want you more, you know? Just, come on, man. Let's just go nuts.
No, I said,
you know,
I don't.
Come on.
I don't want.
Why?
No, Peter, stop. Just stop, all right? Turn off the camera.
God, I'm sorry, Mr. Pewterschmidt.
I don't want to do this anymore, all right? You know what? You went too far.
What?
You went too far.
That's his character. I mean, he's that kind of a guy.
Forget it. You know what? It's just weird, man. It's just weird. You're weird. All right, just get off it. Let's just do something else to make money. And we will be back.